Hello, my name is Thomas Mansfield. I'm doing a presentation for National Patient Safety Goals. This is going to be on hemolyzed blood specimens. The problem, this is a big problem across emergency rooms all across the country, really anywhere blood's drawn, but especially in emergency rooms. Hemolyzed blood specimens, they add time to patients' length of stay. They increase the cost of the hospital because you're going to go back, draw blood again, use more supplies, use more time in the lab. Also, they just cause people undue pain. I mean, you don't want somebody coming back and sticking you again 30 minutes later. But lastly, the big concern is a big safety issue, especially with dialysis patients. For hypothetical patient, you had someone come in that was a dialysis patient that you was unconscious, couldn't tell you when they last dialyzed. You drew blood out of an IV that EMS put in, did a chemistry at the bedside. Gets done in 2 minutes, and the machine that we have down there doesn't discriminate. It won't tell you if the blood's been hemolyzed. And you get a potassium back of 7. We could treat them for that, but we could really make them hypokalemic instead of them being hyperkalemic. So the big concern with it is that potassiums will be falsely elevated, and you end up treating them when they're not. So what is hemolysis? Hemolysis is just a rupturing of blood cells. The big concern, like I said, it raises potassium because it releases the intracellular ions out into the serum. One thing is that there's no quick way to determine if it's hemolyzed. Usually it's just done by visual inspection by a lab technician. And this is done usually after it's spun down. It takes 10 minutes to spin this down, so it's very time consuming just to find out that it's hemolyzed. So how does it occur? Typically this happens when it's being drawn through an IV catheter. Most blood tubes or syringes, you're going to be putting suction on it, and it causes the catheter to collapse and kind of squeeze the blood cells, makes them rupture, traumatizes them, makes them rupture or leak intercellular fluid into the serum. So what can we do to prevent it? A really simple solution to this is just all blood draws for specimens that you're going to use for any kind of testing, just to be done with a butterfly needle. Butterfly needle is a steel needle. It's not going to collapse under a vacuum. Patients might not like to have to get stuck twice, but in the long run it's safer for them and it's less time consuming. Also, if you're drawing blood from a central line, just use a 10 cc syringe or larger. 3 cc syringes exert more pressure on the inside of the line. It can also cause that collapsing of the catheter. So why should we do this? Just like I said, with the butterfly needle, it's not going to collapse under the pressure. And also same thing with the syringes I explained already. Alright, so the proposed change would be to educate all the nurses and techs, anyone who draws blood, on this, using a butterfly needle or a 10 cc syringe or larger. How we put it into practice: educate all the staff members, encourage the techs, this is what we need to do. It's really for the patient safety, and it saves you time in the long run, not having to go back and explain to your patient why you have to stick them again.